Good morning, everybody. Now, obviously, at the moment, I am focused very much on the UK general election because the Heritage Party is standing 41 candidates in the elections which are taking place on the 4th of July. But I'm just going to take a little aside this morning to talk about something else which is happening in the world, which has global ramifications that is not being spoken about hardly at all in the mainstream media. In fact, I haven't seen one report about this at all anywhere. We are now in a new era. You've woken up this morning in a new era. You probably don't even realize it because there's been nothing said and no effects have yet taken place, although we've seen things happening which are related to the new era that we're in. What I'm talking about is the 50-year era of the petrodollar is over. Let me explain. On the 6th of June 1974, the United States and Saudi Arabia made a 50-year deal. And the deal was the United States would supply Saudi Arabia with security and build up their military, build up their infrastructure. And in return, the Saudis would only sell oil in dollars. So that was fine for the United States. But any other country around the world who wanted to buy oil from Saudi Arabia had to purchase it in dollars. So China or India or Kenya or Nigeria wanted to purchase oil from Saudi Arabia. They had to get dollars first and then buy the oil from Saudi Arabia in dollars. Now that arrangement came to an end on the 9th of June 2024. So at the time of me making this video, that's yesterday. So the petrodollar is over. What we've known all of our lives, the bulwark of what has shored up Western currencies, the United States economy, the dollar, has gone. And now Saudi Arabia has decided not to renew the agreement. They haven't made any announcement, but there's just an agreement that was 50 years in length, and now it's over. So what will happen very soon, I don't know whether it's today or tomorrow or a week's time or 2 weeks' time, Saudi Arabia is going to start selling oil to other countries, particularly China, because they've made a 50-year arrangement with China to supply China with oil in 2022. They're going to start selling oil to China and pricing it in yuan. They might start selling oil to India and pricing it in rupees rather than dollars. Now, that may seem something that's very abstract to you and me in our everyday lives, but it's something that will have a profound effect on the United States in particular and the West in general, because we're all related, and plugged into the United States geopolitically in Western Europe, in Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and so on. The United States dollar is going to collapse at some point because there's now no need for any other country to get dollars in order to purchase things, particularly oil, which is the major commodity that the economies need to provide energy, to make all kinds of other things like plastics, like, petroleum-based medicines and so on. All of these things, not that I'm a big fan of petroleum-based medicines, but that's another story. But all of these things, up to now, for 50 years, nations around the world have needed to get dollars to buy these things. They don't need to do this. So now the United States dollar's status as the global reserve currency is over. So we're now at the point, you remember those little cartoons you used to see when you were young of like, there was someone being chased, a little cat or something, roadrunner, and it runs across the edge, goes across the edge of the cliff and runs for a little while. It carries on going. This is just in the cartoons, and then stops and realizes it's not on solid ground anymore and it plummets to the ground. So we're now in the point where the US dollar, the Western currencies have still got the value that they had, some of the value that they had for 50 years, but we're in the place where we're just running over the open ground and we haven't realized yet that the foundations of our economy, which was the petrodollar in the fiat currency system that we've been in since the US dollar went off the gold standard in 1971, is gone. This is going to have profound ramifications for our economies, for our standard of living. And there's two courses of action that the leaders of our nations can take. Now, one is they can accept this, that this has happened, this is reality, that we're now moving into a world where Western hegemony is over. And we can try to go forward in peace with the BRICS countries, which are forming and have been forming alliances, especially over the last 2 years, since the Biden regime and Western European governments have accelerated, absolutely insanely accelerated, this completely unnecessary war in Ukraine against Russia, which I'm still against. They can either accept that and try to find their place in a new world here, a post-petrodollar world. Or what they are more likely to do, which is utterly insane, is to try to maintain the hegemony which is gone, is now just a phantom, by making war with everybody, by making war with Russia, by making war with China, by making war with Saudi Arabia. I think because our leaders are completely mad and insane, and we've seen what they've been doing over the last 2 years, and in Ukraine, and over the last 10 years, more widely, or 20 years, starting war after war after war in the Middle East. It seems like that's the more likely course of action. But I hope that there will be some glimmer of hope, if you like. Somebody will come up, some people will come in and talk sanity into this situation, saying, no, the way to go is just to accept. We're now in a post-petrodollar world. We have to adapt. We're not going to bring it back by making war all over the place. And let's hope that that's the course of action that will prevail in Western nations, and wiser people will see what this is happening and what's going on. And, there's going to be some choppy times economically, geopolitically, as we get used to this, as the consequences of the end of the petrodollar are made manifest, as they come to reality in our world. So this is happening, but nobody's mentioning it at all. I mean, the focus is on trivialities. So there's a journalist who died in Greece, and there's some royal person has gone on a date with somebody else, and somebody's Big Brother celebrity in the past as new relationship or something. I mean, this is the kind of inane trivialities that we are having presented to us at the moment in the mainstream media, when there's this incredible geopolitical economic earthquake has just happened. And I'm just putting this out because there will be things happening because of this in the very near future. So, if you've prepared economically, that's all well and good. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money. I'm not here to tell you what to do with your property and so on. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just saying that this has happened. It's already happened. And act wisely for yourself and for your families. And I hope that the people in power in parliaments around the West also act wisely. But I certainly will be trying to do my best to say what's the right thing to do with my channel here. And obviously, as the leader of the Heritage Party in the UK, will do everything I can to speak against escalating any kind of wars that the military-industrial complex in the West wants to try to get us into over the next period of time. So that's what's happening. And it will be very interesting to see what you think about this, and also very interesting to see, whether anybody picks this up and starts talking about this, because this really is almost of the same importance to us as the outcome of the general election, and obviously also the European parliamentary elections that happened at the weekend. So thanks for listening, everybody, and wherever you are, God bless you all.